So, does positive reinforcement training really work? Well, I'll give you a resounding heck yeah. So, why does it work? So, basically, I'm going to try to explain it to you in a simple way and then give you some examples. So, like all sentient beings, we tend to repeat behaviors when we get the results we like. So, in training our dogs, with positive reinforcement, what we do is first focus on the behaviors we like, the behaviors we want them to do. And when they do those behaviors, whether we lure them into that position or capture it or shape the behavior with little smaller steps, you know, we basically reward for the behavior, and then they likely repeat it because they are getting what they want and like, which may be kibble or playtime or loving from you, right? Whatever reward that they deem worthy. Now, the other side of that, and then people ask is, well, okay, that makes sense, but what about the behaviors we don't like them doing, right? So, how does that work with positive reinforcement training? So, in that case, you know what? It's more of a problem solving mindset you have to put yourself in because in the first scenario, we figured out what is going to motivate your dog to do those behaviors. But with trying to train them and work with them to do, as people ask, to stop certain behaviors, right? We have to figure out a couple of things. And these are the kind of questions I ask my pet parents. First of all, obviously, they know that dogs do dogs things. So, are their dog getting the outlet, the opportunity to do those dog behaviors? For example, if your dog loves digging, do they get the opportunity to dig in certain area that is not important to you in the yard? Or maybe through a pile of blankets to get to treats and toys to, enjoy that digging that they really, really like doing. Okay. So, you know, are they getting enough physical as well as mental exercise opportunities, enrichment throughout the day? Because, if they get bored, they may start chewing up the furniture or your shoe, right? So, are they getting these other kinds of opportunities to be a dog? To do the things that they really enjoy doing. So that's why I speak in terms of maybe some problem solving, right? Figuring out whether or not your dog is getting the things that they need in their life. Because I know you want to do to do right by them. So are they getting those opportunities? And then what that we talk about is instead of that behavior in that situation, okay, that they're doing the bad behavior, right? What is an alternative behavior you would prefer them doing? So it'd be like, for example, a jumping dog that greets you by jumping on everyone. And, you realize the dog's getting bigger and has almost knocked over your kids or your wife or your grandma, right? So instead, like for my dogs, of course they're excited when I get home. But instead of jumping on me, they do a little dancing, what I call tap dancing, because I, I'm okay with them being excited, but I don't want them jumping up on me or anyone else that comes to the door. So does that make sense? So so we have to think in terms of, well, are they getting enough, opportunities to be a dog, to get their enrichments, to get the outlets, opportunities. So and then, what other behavior would you rather them do? And then we use the same kind of positive reinforcement training to teach them to do the other kind of behavior we prefer. So I hope this makes sense to you why positive reinforcement actually works. Now, you know what? I think I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Linda. I am a dog trainer in Costa Mesa area, but I train people on the through internet options too. But what I do is work with the pet parents. And you know what? What I do is help them understand their dog, so training becomes easier, so they can train a well-behaved and well-adjusted dog. Now, if this is the first time you've ever joined me, yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you have a dog, what is your dog's name? And so I want to quickly also mention this Saturday, if you want to know more about how I train, I will be at this event. Hold on. There it is. It's called the Spring Bark Bash. It's sponsored by the city of Costa Mesa. And I am doing 2 training sessions there, free training sessions. I will be doing one at 11:45, and it's about walking without pulling. So I'm going to be working with pet parents in about 15, 20 minutes on this topic, and giving you like a couple of tips on how to help you and help your dog to stop pulling when you're walking. The second the second demo and practice session is chilling on the magic mat. And so, you know what? A lot of times, dogs, we need to help them learn that in certain times they need to kind of relax. They don't need to be so amped up. And so, for young dogs especially, playtime is playtime, of course, but other times of the day, you may need to have them kind of relax. And so, teaching them that the certain mat that you work with them on is a place where they associate with being, you know, calm, relaxed, chilled, right? So this is the second practice session that I will have there. And so if you like, let me know if you want to join either one of them. You can sign up, or you can come and sign up at the event. But I just want to let you know I'm going to be there. So let's see here. Let me come back. So I hope I gave you an explanation that you can understand about positive reinforcement training and why it does work. So the other part about positive reinforcement training, like I said, is the mindset that you are going to be rewarding behaviors you like, and regards to behaviors you don't like, trying to figure out, why they may be doing it, making sure they have, all the other things, all the dog things, all the dog like wellness and welfare taken care of, and then changing that behavior by asking your dog to learn a different behavior. Now, why I prefer not using, because like you, we may have grown up, well, amongst adults, parents, or other adults, teachers, whatever, who used more aversive methods of getting us to stop our bad behaviors, right? And so what happens is, you know, if we tend to use those kind of methods with our dogs, what happens is, first of all, it can damage your relationship with your dog. Where, like us as teenagers, I wasn't really keen on telling my mom everything I did because, I may get punished for it. So that relationship with your pup could be the same. They may not come to you when you want them to come to you, because they're not sure if this is the time when they did something that you don't like, and you may punish them. Or like for potty training, if you punish them, they may, because they know they saw you didn't like it, they may go hide and do it elsewhere where you can't find it until, way later, of course. So, making sure that you don't damage that relationship. The second thing that I want to emphasize is if you use more aversive methods by punishing, for because then you're focusing on bad behaviors, like you're focusing on the bad behavior, you're punishing for behaviors you don't like, right? Because if you use more of that, then also what happens is your dog tends not to want to work with you, not willing to try new things because they are worried that the next thing they do may be the behavior they get punished for. So they would rather not keep trying. Whereas if you use positive reinforcement method, it's like they're trying to figure out which thing did they do to get that reward. So they're willing to try new things without worrying that they may get punished. So so I would prefer to train my pups and my pet parents to train their pups using that method where the dog is willing to try new things. And so this kind of brings me to a book I'm reading, and it's about growth mindset and versus like fixed mindset. Whereas people with growth mindsets are more willing to try new things without the worry of quote unquote failing or judgment or things like that, because you know what, they're more willing to try it to see if this like different version or different way of doing it can get them to the next level. So I would rather, live with that mindset and also teach my dog with that kind of mindset. So, you are willing to try new things and learn and be able to um, realize that, you know what, you're not set in only a certain way of doing things, that you can actually expand to new things, learn new ways of doing things. So, so I really prefer teaching and learning that way. And I hope you do too. So, thank you for joining me for my longer training tip Tuesday. I apologize, but I wanted to share that with you because because what I keep seeing these videos of people using these aversive methods, and they're saying, look, the dog is complying. But in reality, what I'm seeing is a dog that basically is kind of is giving up at that moment and is just like frozen or just given up basically. And so I'd rather not be that kind of trainer. And it's sad because I see the body language of the dog, and I guess other people don't or don't want to, but it's sad to see the dogs shut down. So again, that's why I came on here to talk about positive reinforcement training and that it does work, but to understand how it works and why it works. All right. Hope my training tip Tuesday was helpful to you, and I will see you next Tuesday.